Hi everybody, welcome to Treasure Time. Treasure Time is a time when we do special things with some of the favorite people in our lives, and it's a time that we treasure. And did you guys know that you are treasures too? Well, you are. And your parents really think you're a treasure. And I'd like to have you sing the treasure song with me. You are a treasure, you are a gem, you are a special sparkle of light. You shine in your glory, you tell your own story. You are precious, you are unique. And then sing with me, saying I am a treasure, I am a gem, I am a special sparkle of light. I shine in my glory, I tell my own story. I am precious, I am unique. And thank you for singing the treasure song with me. Today, we are talking about Native Americans. I am on the East Coast, where actually the houses that the Wampanoag people build are different from this. What is this? This is a teepee. And I made this because I thought this would be something that you could do at home to get some long straight sticks, tie them together, and some sheets, and you could make yourself a little tent. I'm sitting by the door, which is like a teepee where the Western Indians and the Plains Indians, this is where they lived, and they traveled with these. They took them apart and pulled them around to different villages. But in this part of the country, the Native Americans built a way-to, which is rounded sticks, and this is bark that's on here. Sometimes it was skins, sometimes it's grass, and they make a cozy rounded house. So there are different customs in different parts of the country. Also, the Western Indians, the Plains Indians and the Western Indians, they used to make designs on their teepees. And what do you suppose their teepees were covered with? Not sheets. They were covered with the skins of animals. And the book I'm going to read to you is about art. And the Native Americans put designs on their teepees, and they also drew pictures of animals, and they would put them on their teepee. And these I cut out and pinned on. You could staple them on. These are common pins, but they're probably, you just want to be careful with pins and kids. There's always the safety of a safety pin, because you can do it up and you don't have a sharp point. And also there is Velcro, little Velcro spots that I had around here somewhere, but you can buy little Velcro dots, and you might be able to use those to put the animals on your teepee, if you can figure out how to make one inside your house for fun on these gloomy winter days that we're having. This book is called The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush, and it is a story that is retold and illustrated by Tomie DePaola, who is a famous children's author. And he also draws some wonderful illustrations. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in a circle of teepees, there was a boy who was smaller than the rest of the children in the tribe. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep up with the other boys who were always running, riding, and shooting their bows and wrestling to prove their strength. Sometimes his father and mother worried for him. But the boy, who was called Little Gopher, was not without a gift of his own. From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood, and he loved to decorate smooth stones with the red juices from berries he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood that Little Gopher had a gift that was special. Do not struggle, Little Gopher. Your path will not be the same as the others. They will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason. And in a few years, when Little Gopher was older, he went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man, for this was the custom of the tribe, and it was there that a dream vision came to him. The sky filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian maiden and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled up animal skin, and he carried a brush made of fine animal hairs and pots of paint. The grandfather spoke, "My son, these are the tools by which you shall become great among your people. You will paint pictures of the deeds of the warriors and the visions of the shaman, and the people shall see them and remember them forever." The maiden unrolled a pure white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him. "Keep it, and one day you will paint a picture that is as pure as the colors of the evening day, the evening sky." And as she finished speaking, the clouds cleared, and a sunset of great beauty filled the sky. Little Gopher looked at the white buckskin and on it he saw colors as bright and beautiful as those made by the setting sun. The sun slowly sank behind the hills, and the sky grew dark. And the dream vision was over. Little Gopher returned to the circle of the people. The next day, he began to make soft brushes from the hairs of different animals and stiff brushes from the hair of horses' tails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors and crushed them to make his paints. He collected the skins of animals which the warriors brought home from their hunts. He stretched the skins on wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts. of great deeds, of great dream visions, so that the people would always remember. But even as he painted, little Gopher sometimes longed to put aside his brushes and ride out with the warriors. But always he remembered his dream vision, and he did not go with them. Many months ago, he had found his pure white buckskin, but it remained empty because he could not find the colors of the sunset. He used the brightest flowers, the reddest berries, and the deepest purples from the rocks, and still his paintings never satisfied him. They looked dull and dark. He began to go to the top of a hill each evening and look at the colors of the sky to try and understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with the people. And that is a beautiful sunset. But he never gave up trying, and every morning when he awoke, he took out his brushes and his pots of paints and created the stories of the people with the tools that he had. One night, as he lay awake, he heard a voice calling to him. Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, you shall find the colors you are seeking. Tomorrow, take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening. There on the ground, you will find what you need. The next evening, as the sun began to go down, little Gopher put aside his brushes and went to the top of the hill as the colors of the sunset spread across the sky. And there, on the ground, all around him, were brushes filled with paint, each one a color of the sunset. Little Gopher began to paint quickly and surely, using one brush and then another. And as the colors in the sky began to fade, little Gopher gazed at the white buckskin, and he was happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He carried his painting down to the circle of the people, leaving the brushes on the hillside. And the next day, when the people awoke, the hill was ablaze with color, for the brushes had taken root in the earth and multiplied into plants of brilliant reds, oranges, and yellow. And every spring from that time, the hills and meadows burst into bloom. And every spring, the people danced and sang the praises of little Gopher, who painted for the people. And the people no longer called him little Gopher, but he who brought the sunset to the earth. And I will just say that when I was little, and I used to walk to school, there were Indian paintbrushes in the field where I used to walk. And they are a very special flower.